was asking me how I was able to do
Joseph Reyes.
this into command
When I
rush.
do it, it goes slow.
Right. So more than likely what you guys might be happening, it could be to other characters where you're trying to do something and it's not a cancel, right? I'm pretty sure I've just discussed what cancels are when you press a button and you can cancel into something else, right? I don't know what the non-cancelable things are. This is not a good character to show that off. God, guys. But yeah, I'm trying to find, see? Like that's a cancel, right? When you can press a button and then do the quarter circle and it'll immediately come out from any time. But an actual manual one is when you have to see that you can't cancel any of this. And notice there's a gap, right? You guys can look at the frame, so do this. And right, look at that big gap. Like say you're, because if you do it too early, right, like what happens if you do it too early? Nothing happens, right? But then also if you do it too late, you leave a gap. And right now you're asking how come I can do it so fast? And look at how close that is, right? So one of the first things is just timing, getting used to it, right? It's just knowing exactly, like I mentioned before, for how links work is stare at the character and then wait exactly. Sorry for the audio. Exactly. Like look at her hand, wait for her to like, you see how she pulls back? Like look at her hand, like look at the back, right? Where she's making a fist. Once you do that, then do the quarter circle and you'll get it. But that does require a bit of execution. And then there's a second thing that you guys might not know I want to primarily discuss. It's called buffering. Right.
Joseph Reyes. Oh, wow.
So if you can't wait too much, there is a thing known as buffering. What exactly is buffering? So basically all buffering is, in short, is whenever you're doing a move that isn't normally cancelable, and then you can even do it for things that are cancelable like this, is you do the motion like you. So say if you always do this a bit too early, right? Like say you do it right as her fist goes up there. But what you can do is just do the motion. You don't have to do it fast. Do it slowly, just smooth, and then you can press the button and it will come out. Watch. Look at my inputs. If you guys see, look, 11, 2, 3, everything spaced out. And look at how long it took me to 6. It took me 4/16 of a second to get the back input. And as you can tell, I waited 6 milliseconds or 6 frames, 6/60 of a second to press heavy. Why did that work? And why did you guys see it came out frame perfect? I didn't even go fast. Like I didn't go, you know, that's execution. But an easier way for you guys crack hits like me, it's buffering. And all it is inputting the move. Make sure you focus on being precise and slow, not fast, and then delaying your button. Because the way it works is the game still registers your inputs for a couple of seconds. And if you want to make it better, you guys seen you can double tap. So you can be like, do the motion, double tap. It increases your likelihood of the move coming out. And there you go. So even if, let's say you did it too early, the button, you can get it on, hopefully, doing it fast. There's also a term called pianoing. I guess another thing you can do is called pianoing, which you can do with this character. And what that is when you press one button after the other, But the way it also works, you can also have, I would recommend having negative edge for that if you want to increase your chances, because the way it works is letting go of a button also counts as a button, but you have to have negative edge on for that. But I found that it's really wonky in Street Fighter 6 because they need to fix the input delay. But for now, I don't recommend it. And the way that works, you can combine, not just tapping, because you notice there's a big gap, right? You see there's a 5-frame gap between the 2 punches. But if you hold all 3 buttons, right, and then they go one by one, you get it. But if you go, like you slide your fingers across, and look at how much consistent you get, right? Like frame after the, see 1, 5, 4. So you can do. Or I mean, you want to do them one after the other. Don't try to get EX by accident. Oh, see, I messed it up. I don't even know which version she got, but she got one of them. It's either light, medium. See. Oh, and last thing to answer your question is, because he was asking the final one, like some moves are faster than others, right? So, and it gets in her case, you want to do heavy, medium, then light. So pay attention to the little frame bar. See, heavy is the fastest, medium is the second slowest, and for some reason light is hella slow. So that's to answer your question is I do the heavy version, I buffer, from, and you can see at the bottom of the bar, right? That was actually perfect, right? If there's, see, look at that, that's a gap. You see where it's black? There's gap. But if you get it on point, boom, there is no gap. But yeah, that's it. That should answer how I do things so fast. I usually buffer it, and sometimes I just wait, or I piano it. I only piano when it's something that's mad hard. Like that isn't the hardest thing to do. Like that's fairly easy to do. Like I don't find it too hard personally to time. But if there are things that are extremely tight, so if you're having a really hard time, get used to practicing pianoing and look at your inputs. Don't accidentally, like you roll your thumb on a controller, by the way. You want to do one. Get used to doing that. It's a great technique. You want to roll, usually roll but you can get EX by accident. Or you can just even just do 1-2. You don't even have to do, you could do, you know, like heavy, medium. See, that's easy, right? Because you have your index finger on R1 and then triangle and then just jab the last hook. See? So yeah, hers is easy. See, like here's how it sounds.
Rank Y